go CONCACAF here, Fabrizio Romano, yes. And let's begin with Mexico, El Tri, Tecatito Corona to Sevilla. I don't know, Fab. I feel that this is some Monchi magic once again. Talk to me about this move.
Yes, it's one step away from being completed. It's not signed yet, but it's a matter of hours. They have an agreement with Porto for 3 million euros for Tecatito Corona because he was out of contract in June, so they were facing the risk to lose the player as free agent. He was already really close to join Sevilla in the summer. Then they had some problems last summer in the agreement with Porto. They were offering around 15 million euros. Porto wanted 18, so there was some problems. Now he's ready to join for 3 million. He has an agreement with Sevilla for a contract till 2025. So we expect Corona to be in Spain soon in the coming hours to have his medical, sign the contract, and be a new Sevilla player. And it's a really interesting move also because, as you mentioned, it's kind of Monchi move. So I'm really curious to see him at Sevilla.
We're going to move on for sure. I know we got a lot of packs, but 3 million, Fabrizio, that's a bargain, I feel. I know that his performances have not lived up to standard. He hasn't seen enough minutes, but he's only 29. Tecatito Corona is incredibly talented, and now he's joining a club that's pushing to not just the Champions League, but maybe even the title. This is a great move all around for Sevilla.
Great move. I agree with you. Great move. Super interesting player. I think is really interesting to see him in LaLiga because he's perfect fit for his skills. Many clubs were always following him, but now big chance for Tecatito in Sevilla, and typical Monchi move. When there is the opportunity, you will find Monchi working on it. It's always like this.
Absolutely. Just like our producer Des says, El Tri in Seville. Tecatito, Lainez, Guardado, all in the city. It's going to be great for Mexican fans in that city. All right, let's move on, but we're sticking in CONCACAF. A player we always talk about here, USMNT specifically. Bryan Reynolds, obviously Mourinho is done with him, and Reynolds wants to move as well. What's the latest with him?
He will leave 100%. There are some contacts since weeks with MLS clubs interested in him, but still nothing agreed because Anderlecht in Belgian leagues, they're pushing to have Bryan Reynolds on loan. They're negotiating with Roma. Roma were busy with Gonzalo Villar and Borja Mayoral to Getafe. This is why it's taking a bit long. They're working on many deals at the same moment. They signed Sergio Oliveira from Porto. So many things for the director of football of Roma, Thiago Pinto. But now it's time to discuss with Anderlecht for Bryan Reynolds. And there are good possibilities. Let's see if they will agree on loan fee, on also covering the payment of the salary for the player. But everything is close. And so I expect Bryan Reynolds to leave Roma in January, as we said many times.
What an opportunity it would be for Bryan Reynolds to work under Vincent Kompany in Anderlecht, quite the manager there. That would be amazing. All right. Before we begin into Tottenham and Arsenal, anything else that you're focusing on this week, Fabrizio? I'll ask you now instead of at the very end.
Yes, I will keep an eye on Paulo Dybala to see what happens with his contract because he had a verbal agreement with Juventus since months. We're talking about October. Everything was agreed on a verbal basis. But then at the end, Juventus asked for some time before signing this contract. Also, Paulo had an interview in November saying, I will stay here for 5 years. So everything was in place. But then now Juventus are taking some time. They want to discuss again with Dybala, maybe to change some clauses and some part of the contract. And so I'm working on it to understand what's going to happen for Dybala because he's currently out of contract in June. And so it's an interesting situation to follow. Let's see.